Good evening, students. So in this lecture we are going to study about the parts of flower in our chapter, that is Morphology of Flowering Plants. That is our chapter 5th of 11th class. In our last lecture we studied about the inflorescence and about the flower, and in this lecture we will study about the parts of flower. So usually each flower, it consists of 4 holes of floral appendages. Each flower, it consists of 4 holes of floral appendages. These 4 holes of floral appendages includes the calyx, the corolla, the androecium and gynoecium. So each of these we will study in details in this class. So first we are starting with the calyx. These calyx in plants, or sorry, in case of flowers, these are green leaf-like structures which covers a flower when the flower is present in the form of bud, and the individual leaf segment of this calyx, it is known as the sepals. That is known as sepals. So these calyx, these are the outermost hole of a flower, and the individual leaf segment of this calyx, it is known as sepal. These sepals are green in color and they usually provides protection to the reproductive organs of a flower when the flower is present in a bud form, that is when it is present in closed form. Further, these sepals, they also prevents the water loss through transpiration in the form of vapors from the internal organs of a flower. Further, these sepals, in case of flowers, they are either found in fused state. They may be present in fused state or they may be present in free state. If the sepals are present in fused state or in united state, then they are known as gamosepalous. And if the sepals are present in free state in a flower, then these sepals are known as polysepalous. So these are the 2 important terms. Remember them. That is, if sepals are present in fused state, they are known as gamosepalous, and if they are present in free state in a flower, then they are known as polysepalous. So this is all about the calyx. Now the second hole of a flower, that is known as corolla. It is corolla. The individual leaf segment of a flower, of a corolla, that is known as petals. So all the petals which are present in a flower, they are together known as corolla. तो जो इंडिविजुअल लीफ सेगमेंट है कोरोला का बेटा, उसको हम नाम देते हैं पेटल्स, और जितनी भी पेटल्स एक फ्लावर में प्रेजेंट होती हैं उनको एक साथ हम क्या नाम देते हैं, कोरोला. ये जो पेटल्स हैं ये फ्लावर के अंदर ब्राइटली कलर्ड होती हैं, इनके पास कुछ फ्रेगनेंस प्रेजेंट होता है, और ये लीफ लाइक स्ट्रक्चर होते हैं किसी फ्लावर की. ये लीफ लाइक स्ट्रक्चर है, ये ब्राइटली कलर्ड है और इनके पास कोई खुशबू या फ्रेगनेंस प्रेजेंट है. इनके ब्राइटली कलर्ड होने की वजह से और इनके पास कोई फ्रेगनेंस प्रेजेंट होने की वजह से दे आर रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर अट्रैक्टिंग द इंसेक्ट टुवर्ड्स देम. ये किसी इंसेक्ट को अट्रैक्ट करते हैं खुद की तरफ, एंड दीज इंसेक्ट्स देन हेल्प्स इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ पोलिनेशन. और ये इंसेक्ट्स फिर किस में हेल्प करते हैं, पोलिनेशन में हेल्प करते हैं. नाउ फर्दर दिस कोरोला, they may also be present either in united state. ये जो कोरोला है, कोरोला के जो पेटल्स हैं ये भी यूनाइटेड स्टेट में प्रेजेंट हो सकते हैं या ये फिर फ्री स्टेट में प्रेजेंट हो सकते हैं. अगर पेटल्स किसी फ्लावर के अंदर प्रेजेंट है यूनाइटेड स्टेट में, तो ऐसे पेटल्स को हम नाम देते हैं गैमोपेटलस. क्या नाम देते हैं, गैमोपेटलस. और अगर किसी फ्लावर के अंदर पेटल्स प्रेजेंट है फ्री स्टेट में, देन these petals are known as polypetalous. तो हम उनको क्या नाम देते हैं, polypetalous. अब जो कोरोला है ये फ्लावर के अंदर एक ट्यूबुलर स्ट्रक्चर होता है, वो व्हील शेप्ड हो सकता है और उसके अलावा वो बेल शेप्ड भी हो सकता है. तो कोरोला कैन बी और द petals can be tubular shaped, they can be bell shaped or they can be the wheel shaped. Now our next topic is estivation. This estivation, it is the process of arrangement of sepals or petals in floral bud So it is the process of arrangement of sepals or petals when a flower is present in the form of bud and in comparison to the other holes which are present in a flower. So this estivation, it is the process of arrangement of sepals and petals in floral buds with respect to other floral holes, with respect to other floral holes, and on the basis of the arrangement of these sepals and petals, the estivation is of 4 different types. That is the velvet estivation, as you are seeing in the diagram, the twisted estivation, imbricate estivation, and vexillary estivation. Now, what is this velvet estivation? In this velvet type of estivation, the holes of a flower, that is sepals or petals, they touch each other. So they are touching each other, nearly they touch each other, and they are present in a particular fashion or in a particular manner. The example is calotropis. So in velvet estivation, the holes of sepals and petals, they usually touch each other and they are present in a particular fashion. The example is calotropis. Now, in case of this twisted estivation, in this twisted estivation, the holes of sepals or petals, they overlap each other in a particular fashion. They overlap each other in a particular fashion, as you are seeing in the diagram, that this part of this sepal, it is overlapped by this part, and this part, this end of this petal, it is overlapped by this part. So same pattern is seen in the whole flower. The same pattern is seen in the whole flower. The one end of a petal, it is overlapped, and the other part is overlapping the other petal. So the case in which the sepals and petals overlaps each other in a particular manner, then the such type of estivation is known as twisted estivation, and the example is China rose flower. Now, the third type is the imbricate estivation. The imbricate estivation. In such type of estivation, the sepals and petals, they overlap each other, but the overlapping is not in a particular fashion. Though they are overlapping each other, but it is not in a particular fashion, as this hole or this petal, it is overlapped from both ends. This hole, it is overlapped from this end only, and it is overlapping here. So it is not present in a particular fashion. And the type of estivation in which the petals are not overlapping with in a particular fashion, then such estivation is known as imbricate estivation, and the example is gulmohar plant. Now, the fourth type of estivation, it is vexillary estivation. It is vexillary estivation, and it is also known as papilionaceous estivation. It is also known as papilionaceous estivation. The example is beans. Now, in such type of estivation, the two largest petals, they overlaps. These are the two largest petals in a flower. They are overlapping these two lateral petals. They are overlapping these two lateral petals, and these lateral petals then further overlaps the two inner and smaller petals. So, which are the smallest petals? So the two largest petals, they are overlapping the two lateral petals. These two lateral petals, they are overlapping. They are further overlapping the two inner smallest petals. So such type of estivation is vexillary estivation or papilionaceous estivation. The example is beans. So on the basis of arrangement of sepals or petals with respect to other holes of a flower, when the flower is present in the form of floral bud, that process is known as estivation. It can be of velvet type, as in case of calotropis. It can be twisted, as in case of China rose. It can be imbricate, as is the case of gulmohar, and it can be vexillary, as is the case of beans. Now, our next floral part, that is third floral part, it is androecium. And this androecium, it is male reproductive part of a flower, and it is also known as stamen. That is, androecium consists of stamen, and these stamen, they represents the male reproductive organs of a flower. Usually each stamen consists of two different parts. That is a swollen top. You are seeing this structure, that is a swollen top, that is known as anther, and a stalk-like structure. Here it is, the stalk-like structure, that is known as either stalk or filament. Whereas this swollen top, it is known as the anther. So each stamen, it consists of two different parts. That is a swollen top known as anther, and a filament or thread-like structure, that is stalk or filament. Further, each anther is a bilobed structure. That means each anther consists of two lobes. If you are seeing here, the one lobe is here, that is one lobe, it forms the one lobe here complete, and the second lobe is here. So each anther consists of two lobes, that's why the anther is a bilobed structure. So when we cut the transverse section of an anther, we see that it is a bilobed structure, and each lobe of a structure consists of two pollen sacs. So the total pollen sac which are present in anther are 4, because it have two lobes and each lobe contains the two pollen sac. Further, these pollen sac, these are the site where the formation of male gametophyte or the pollen grain occurs. When you cut the transverse section of an anther, it looks like circular shaped structure that is covered by 4 different wall layers from outer side to inner side. Now the innermost layer, as you have seen here, the green colored cells, it is tapetum, and inside it are present the sporogenous tissue that results finally into the formation of the spore cells or the pollen grains. So these lobes, that is one lobe here, एक lobe ये, that is one pollen sac is here, the another pollen sac is this, the another pollen sac is this, and the fourth pollen sac is this. So in this lobe we are having 2 pollen sac, that is 1 and 2, and here again 1 and 2. So total pollen sac are 4 and total lobes are 2, because it have 2 lobes in anther, that's why it is bilobed structure. Each lobe contains 2 pollen sacs, so total pollen sac are 4, and pollen sac are the site where the formation of pollen grains or male gametophyte occurs. Now a sterile anther, a sterile stamen or anther, that is known as staminode. If the anther or the stamen is sterile and it is incapable of producing the viable pollen grains, ठीक है, तो कोई अगर stamen sterile है और वो viable pollen grains produce नहीं कर रहा है, तो ऐसे stamen को हम क्या नाम देते हैं, that is staminate. Further, in some plants like brinjal, these stamen, they are also found fused with other floral parts such as petals, and such stamens are known as the epipetalous. They are known as epipetalous. What are epipetalous? In some plants such as brinjal, the stamen is found fused with other floral parts such as petals, and that's why they are known as epipetalous. Now in other plants such as lily plant, the stamen, it is found attached to perianth. And because it is found attached to perianth, it is known as the epiphyllus. If so, that means if a stamen is attached to petals, it is known as epipetalous, and if it is found attached to perianth, then it is known as epiphyllus. The example of epipetalous type of stamen is brinjal, and the example of epiphyllus stamen is lily plant. Now we will discuss some more points. So in some flowers, the stamen of a flower, it may be present either in free state. Such stamen which are present in free state, they are known as polyandrous stamens. So in flowers, if all the stamens are present in free state, they are not present in fused state, then these stamens are known as polyandrous stamens. Now, further, also in some plants, the stamens, they are found united with each other in various degrees. So in some plants, if the stamens are present in free state, they are known as polyandrous stamens. And in some plants, these stamens, they may be found united, and they are united in different degrees. For example, if the stamen may be united in one bunch or bundle, if they are united in only in one bunch or bundle, then such stamens are known as the monoadelphous stamen. They are known as monoadelphous stamen. The examples of such stamens are found in case of China rose plant. So, if stamens are united only in a single bunch or only in a single bundle, then these stamens, they are known as the monoadelphous stamens, and such stamens are found in case of China rose plant. The second example is if stamens are united in two bundles or in two bunches. So stamens, if they are united in two bundles or in two bunches, then such stamens are known as diadelphous stamens, and the example of diadelphous stamen includes the pea plant. So in case of pea plant, the stamens are arranged in two different bunches or in two different bundles. So they are known as the diadelphous stamens. Further, if the stamen is united into more than two bundles or into more than two bunches, if the stamen is united into more than two bundles or into more than two bunches, then such stamens, they are known as polyadelphous, and the example of polyadelphous stamens is the citrus plant. So if the stamen is united in more than two bundles, they are united in more than two bundles, that is 3, 4, 5 and so, then such stamens are known as polyadelphous stamens, and the example of polyadelphous stamen is the citrus flower or citrus plants. Further, in some flowers, the length of filament of a stamen, it may also varies within a flower. In some plants, within a flower, the length of filament of a stamen may vary in size, and the examples of such plants having varying length of filaments within a flower includes the salvia plant and the mustard plant. तो क्या पढ़ा बेटा इसमें हमने एंड्रोसियम के बारे में कि किसी एंड्रोसियम क्या है, मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट होता है फ्लावर का, ठीक है। तो एंड्रोसियम के अंदर क्या प्रेजेंट है, स्टेमन प्रेजेंट है। ये स्टेमन मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन को रिप्रेजेंट करता है किसी फ्लावर में, और जो स्टेमन है वो किसी फ्लावर के अंदर जितने भी स्टेमन्स है वो फ्री स्टेट में प्रेजेंट हो सकते हैं, वो फ्यूज्ड स्टेट में प्रेजेंट नहीं है, फ्री स्टेट में प्रेजेंट है, इसलिए ऐसे स्टेमन्स को हम क्या नाम देते हैं, पॉलीएंड्रस स्टेमन्स। फर्दर कुछ प्लांट्स के अंदर फ्लावर्स ऐसे हैं जिनके अंदर जो स्टेमन है वो यूनाइटेड मिलते हैं कि फ्यूज्ड स्टेट में मिलते हैं, और ये इनकी जो फ्यूज्ड स्टेट है ये अलग अलग डिग्री तक हो सकती है, वेरिंग डिग्री तक हो सकती है। एग्जांपल के लिए जैसे कुछ प्लांट्स के अंदर जो स्टेमन है वो एक सिंगल बंच की फॉर्मेशन करते हैं, सिंगल बंडल की फॉर्मेशन कर देते हैं, ठीक है। ऐसे स्टेमन्स को हम क्या नाम देते हैं, मोनोएडेल्फस। मोनो मींस सिंगल, ठीक है। तो अगर सिंगल बंडल की फॉर्मेशन कर रहे हैं स्टेमन तो वो मोनोएडेल्फस स्टेमन्स है, और ऐसे स्टेमन हमें मिलते हैं चाइना रोज के प्लांट में। सेकंड, अगर वो स्टेमन यूनाइटेड है टू बंडल्स में या दो बंचेस में, दो बंडल्स में या दो बंचेस में, तो इस तरह के स्टेमन्स को हम क्या नाम देते हैं, डाइएडेल्फस स्टेमन्स। और इस तरह के स्टेमन हमें मिलते हैं पी प्लांट के अंदर, दैट इज बटर प्लांट और बटर जो भी है, ठीक है। तो पी प्लांट्स के अंदर हमें क्या मिलता है, ऐसे डाइएडेल्फस स्टेमन मिलते हैं। अब कुछ प्लांट ऐसे हैं जिनके अंदर जो हमारे स्टेमन्स हैं वो यूनाइटेड है मोर देन टू बंडल्स, यानी कि दो बंडल से ज्यादा या दो बंडल से बंचेस से भी ज्यादा में, 3 में 4 में, इस तरह से। और अगर स्टेमन दो या दो से ज्यादा बंडल्स में या बंचेस में यूनाइटेड है तो ऐसे स्टेमन को हम नाम देते हैं पॉलीअडेल्फस। पॉली मींस many, many means more than 2, that can be 3, 4 and so on। तो ऐसे स्टेमन जो 2 से ज्यादा बंडल्स में अरेंज्ड है या यूनाइटेड है उनको हम क्या नाम देते हैं पॉलीअडेल्फस। ऐसे स्टेमन हमें कौन से फ्लावर्स में मिलते हैं? सिट्रस प्लांट के फ्लावर्स में मिलते हैं। तो एग्जांपल क्या हो गया? सिट्रस फ्लावर्स। अब नेक्स्ट, कुछ प्लांट्स के अंदर एक ही फ्लावर के अंदर जो स्टेमन का जो फिलामेंट है उसकी लेंथ अलग अलग हो सकती है, वो वेरी कर सकती है, ठीक है। अब ऐसे प्लांट्स का जो एग्जांपल है वो साल्विया है और मस्टर्ड है। तो साल्विया और मस्टर्ड फ्लावर के अंदर जो फिलामेंट की लेंथ है एक ही फ्लावर के अंदर वो वेरी कर सकती है। That can be one is filament is larger in size and the other may be the smaller in size. Thank you students.